So, when I think of some of the deadliest animals in the world, I never assume that they're high on drugs. I just don't. I never assume that a king cobra may have done a line or that a gorilla was outside hitting a pipe before he came to the zoo. Like, I never assume that these animals even have access to drugs. But apparently, Pablo Escobar was giving hippos cocaine. I don't know, but the Fat Electrician knows, and he's about to tell me what's going on. Let's get to it.
So I did a video last week over on my main channel, Band of Beavers, when America airdropped beavers into the woods to save the environment, and I was like, wow, that was a pretty funny video. I wonder if there's any other funny conservation stories. So
I already know it. Please, whoever knows in the comments, what they airdropped beavers to save the environment? Was there too many trees or something? That's what beavers are for. Yeah, no. Building dams, maybe? You let me know in the comments what happened with these beavers. Or if he did another video, I'll just watch the video.
I looked into it, and yeah, yeah, there are. Today we're talking about Pablo Escobar's cocaine hippos that are currently messing up the ecosystem in Colombia, threatening the entire
cocaine
Amazon
hippo?
rainforest, and that Colombia also can't get rid of because some court in the United States granted cocaine hippos personhood, which is potentially groundbreaking legal precedent. Yeah.
Nicholas, did you get a beer vending machine?
Maybe.
Why?
For the home gym downstairs.
What home gym?
Crandall Fitness sponsored the video and gave us a home gym.
Oh,
Hey.
we have a gym membership.
Well, first of all, I want to be able to lift weights the way the Lord intended.
Boy, your butt cheeks is out, sir. Sir, your meat is out around these weights, sir. I mean, good thing you're the only person using this gym.
That's disgusting. You should wear clothes.
Home gym's already ruined. Anyways, Crandall Fitness, small business based out of Texas. They have a couple of employees. It's ran by a husband and a wife that were mad during the pandemic that they couldn't go to the gym and they couldn't really afford any nice gym equipment. So they decided to design and have their own made so that normal people can afford fancy home gyms and not have to worry about their gym being closed. The equipment's high quality. I don't know. It's heavy. I pick it up. I put it down. It hasn't broken yet. What else more could you possibly want? Anyways, I'm going to have a link and discount code down below. Go check out Crandall Fitness. Let's get back to the video. All right, from the top, Pablo Escobar. He's the #1 drug kingpin of the 1980s, if not of all time. Under his reign, I guess you would call it, his cartel was responsible for about 80% of the cocaine globally.
Pablo Escobar introduced cocaine to the United States. Let's just say that. Let's call that what it is. Very few people knew what it was. He mainstreamed cocaine for the United States of America. It wasn't just him single-handedly. There were others, but he was the biggest businessman to do it.
And they were making about $22 billion a year, of which Pablo Escobar was profiting $60 million a day to himself. Pablo Escobar was making so much money selling nose beer that he was actually listed as the 7th wealthiest man on the planet in Forbes for like a decade. And it's hard to comprehend how much money that actually is, but
you know what's funny, though, real quick about that is that, and this is just my mind trying to comprehend it, right? There is a nationalized paper doing a report on someone who is doing illegal activities, but congratulating them for the amount of money they're making from it. That's literally what that says to me. They saw a drug lord making billions and said he is the richest man, one of the richest men in the world. But are you not acknowledging the fact of how he gets his money? I don't know.
But to give you an idea, according to Pablo Escobar's son, when he was a little kid, they were camping one night and they didn't have any firewood, so Pablo Escobar burnt $2 million in cash so that they could make some s'mores.
I haven't had anything yet, so how can I have some more?
That's one of those tall tales, bruh. I kind of believe it though, but I don't think it was maybe 2 million. He probably did burn some cash, but that's one of those tall tales that just make the person in question larger than life. And they're really good. Hispanic community is really good at that, bro. Like, their storytelling is phenomenal. If you've never heard a story by someone of Spanish heritage, please find one and just ask them rather, to tell you a story. They're really good at it.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Okay, this man was spending $2,500 a month on rubber bands to hold all of his $100 bills together. That's how much money this guy was personally making. This guy made so much money selling nose torque that he didn't even have anything to buy anymore, so he just started spending all of his money on whatever he could get his hands on. By the time he was done, he owned 141 houses, 142 planes, 20 helicopters, and 32 yachts. And at some point along this spending extravaganza, he's like, I guess I'm just gonna start collecting rare, wild, exotic animals because there's literally nothing else I can spend my money on. He had a rhino, he had an elephant, he had a giraffe, he had a bunch of exotic birds, and one of the things that he smuggled in was 4 baby hippos, 1 male and 3 females. And as those hippos grew and matured, Pablo Escobar may or he may not have fed people to them based on their ethnic background, or at least that's what the Netflix TV shows led me to believe.
Si me apendejaba, si me iba a echar ahí con los hipopótamos esos.
Hipopótamos tampoco les gustan los mexicanos.
Either way, fast forward to 1993, Escobar's compound gets raided, it all gets turned over to the Colombian government, and they have to figure out what to do with this entire zoo that this man has living in his private compound, and pretty much all of the animals get turned over to either zoos or sanctuaries. All of them except for the 4 hippos, and I can hear the comment section already. Buh! That doesn't make any sense, because if you can transport an elephant...
What is this? When he does this, he has the helmet and the keyboard on the shoulder. I like that. That's cool. It's inspiring, isn't it?
Why can't you transport a hippo? Buh. Okay, look, I understand your logic going into this. That's a big-ass animal. That's a big-ass animal. If you can move one, why can't you move the other? Simply put, it's because elephants and other large animals can be reasoned with. You know what I mean? You can roll up on an elephant and be like, hey, chief, proposal, how about I give you some peanuts and you get your big ass on the truck? And they're going to be like, okay, I'll walk my big goofy ass ears up on the truck for you. You can't reason with a hippo, all right?
No,
Hippos
not at all.
are territorial assholes that will kill you for no other reason than the fact that you got...
Hippos are dinosaurs, people. Hippos are dinosaurs, and you cannot reason with dinosaurs. This is not freaking Jurassic World, and you're dealing with a smart raptor. No. Hippos are dinosaurs, and there's no reasoning with them.
A little bit too close for their liking. They are the deadliest animal on the planet, responsible for killing over 500 people per year. Buh! But I still think they're kind of cute. Buh. Okay, first of all, no it's not. Objectively speaking, it looks like Voldemort fucked a grizzly bear, okay? Secondly, there's nothing cute about this animal. It's absolutely horrifying, okay? You're like, oh, it's chubby and it's
have you
cute.
seen a baby hippo? Have you seen one? I mean, come on. Those big eyes. Looks like a little rubber ball. Like, come on. Come on. Come on.
It's not chubby, okay? It is almost 4,000 pounds of straight muscle and bone. Hippos are so dense, they can't float, okay? Are you picking up what I'm putting down right now? Hippos can't swim. Most people are probably hearing this for the first time. No, they sink to the bottom of the river, and then they run along the bottom of the river, and then when they get out of breath...
It's a water tank, people.
They jump up, get a breath, and sink back down again. Okay, and just so we're all on the same page, 4,000 pounds is bigger than most cars. Like a Toyota Corolla is like 3,000 pounds. This is literally a semi-aquatic muscle tank that's got 12 to 18-inch stalactites for teeth that maxes out at 19 miles an hour on foot, okay? It's absolutely horrifying. This animal is so unstoppable, it has no natural predators. You can make an argument that when they're a baby hippo, they might get eaten up by alligators or lions, and that does happen once in a while, but even then, there's accounts of alligators letting baby hippos chew on them like chew toys when they're teething.
Because they know they will get destroyed if they attack that thing.
Because the alligators know at this point that if they hurt the baby hippos, all the full-grown hippos are going to dismantle them. Once hippos reach maturity, there's absolutely...
Animals are way smarter than you think, people. I mean, animals study behavior because they technically can't talk to each other. So they study behavioral patterns between each other. Yeah, It takes just a couple of crocodiles to get mauled to death for nipping a baby, and one to see it and say, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Ever.
Absolutely nothing that can kill them. Okay, you can get on the internet and find videos of a pride of lions attacking a single full-grown hippo, like lions on the hippo's back biting it, and the hippo's just walking towards the river completely unfazed because it's not even hurting him. The only thing that kind of regulates the hippo population in Africa is the dry season, because once the rivers and the ponds dry up, the hippos can't survive. Okay, do you understand what I've just told you? This animal is so fucking gangster, the only known predator it has is the dry season. Literally, the only thing capable of taking it out is Mother Nature with a natural phenomenon. Sorry, we're unhinged at this point, but my point is, you're not getting the hippos on the truck to move them if they don't want to be moved, and hippos don't want to be moved. They want to be left alone to do hippo things, and that's what's going to happen. So all these Colombian special forces guys that broke in and raided Escobar's compound are like, I guess we're leaving the hippos here. And then over the course of the next couple years, either somebody just let the hippos out, or the hippos broke out into a nearby river system, and they've been living there ever since. Okay, now fast forward 30 years from 1993 to 2003, they know of 170 of these hippos, and there could be more out there. So the hippo population in Colombia is growing exponentially, and it's estimated to reach 1,000 hippos by 2030 if we don't do something about it. And this is an environmental disaster, not just because the hippos are dangerous to people, but because the hippos poop in the body of water that they reside in, and their poop is so toxic that it creates this algae, and these large cultures of algae start floating around the top of the water, and this algae actually eats all the oxygen out of the water, which kills off all the fish, and not having fish kills off all the birds, and it's fucking up the entire ecosystem.
Now that I did not know. I did not know their poop could do that. I didn't know that. Their poop sucks up the oxygen in the water, which kills the fish, which drives away the birds, which drives away anything that'll eat a bird. And now the whole system is screwed. And this has been happening for 30 years?
In Colombia. And there's nothing to stop it or even kind of slow it down because there's no dry season in Colombia. Which means that pretty much every hippo born in Colombia is living out its entire lifespan of roughly 50 years, and every female hippo gives birth to roughly 7 other hippos, and their population is going to continue to grow exponentially until some of them are forced to move into other areas of water, and if those hippos make their way into the Amazon rainforest, we're all fucked. Because the Amazon rainforest is one of, if not the biggest ecosystems on Earth that helps stabilize the climate of the entire planet, because
people, he is speaking facts, and I know he speaks fast, but I don't want you to miss this. The Amazon rainforest, it is just one huge place that regulates the world. Okay? The world, like all of it. This one place with all these trees is a major player. Back to the fat man.
Because it stores 200 billion tons of carbon, and if we mess up that ecosystem, it could have planetary-wide implications, and who knows what's going to happen. So clearly, we got to get rid of these hippos, right? We're going to have to cull and kill off all the hippos. It's the only option. It's not fair. It sucks for the hippos, but that's just what has to happen, right? Apparently wrong. In 2009, one of the hippos was being extremely aggressive towards fishermen, and the army stepped in to kill this hippo before it started killing fishermen that were trying to feed their families. And they posted a picture of this dead hippo that they had just killed named Pepe on the internet, and the planet had a fucking meltdown because the Colombian government was killing hippos. Now, obviously, when I say the entire planet, I'm being hyperbolic, and what I actually mean is a bunch of self-righteous, entitled pricks. I mean, animal rights activists from first world countries that don't actually know.
I like this guy a lot. I like this guy a lot. He said I'm being hyperbolic. Simply because he said I'm being hyperbolic, I know what that means, and then what he followed up with was amazing. I really like the fat man.
Or understand anything about the environment or conservation as a whole, but they do know that it feels good to save animals in between sips of their Starbucks Frappuccino by bitching at people on Twitter. So, because a bunch of people whose opinions shouldn't even matter in the first place are going to be upset if Colombia kills these hippos, for the past 15 years, they've been trying to find a different alternative besides killing them in order to get rid of all these hippos. First thing they did, they tried to capture some, put them to sleep, and then neuter them.
This is Bob Barker. Have your pets spayed or neutered. I'll just die already.
It didn't go that great. Like I said, it's 4,000 pounds of muscle. And if you didn't know, male hippos have internal genitalia, meaning that it's really hard to tell male from female. And it's also very hard to neuter them because you have to cut through 4,000 pounds of muscle to get to any of the genitalia in the first place. And then the hippos didn't have great outcomes as far as surviving the surgery and being released back into the wild. So next thing we could try, we could tranquilize the hippos. And then while they're asleep, we could transport them to a zoo or a sanctuary of some kind, right?
Okay.
That's a halfway decent idea if you don't think about it. I mean, what happens when you tranquilize a hippo? Well, where are the hippos? First of all, they're in the water. What happens when you tranquilize something? It falls asleep. What happens if a hippo falls asleep in water? It sinks because they don't float and then they fucking drown and you can't get a 4,000 pound animal out of a river in time. So after like 10 years of trying alternative methods, 2020 rolls around and the Colombian government's just like, there's nothing else we can do. We're just going to have to cull and kill all these hippos. It's literally the only option without having planetary-wide implications. So naturally, a bunch of animal rights activist groups got together in the US and they sued the Colombian government because they were going to kill the hippos.
But Saul, how can I sue these people and institutions? I have no grounds. Do me a favor. Let me answer that question in person. Better call Saul.
Somebody told me I should watch that. And if that was a funny clip, but Better Call Saul, is it worth it?
During this court case, because the hippos have never set foot in the United States of America, they literally have nothing to do with the United States in any way whatsoever, and the United States legal system has no jurisdiction over it at all. The federal judge in this court case had to declare the hippos interested persons so that they could even hear the court case in the first place. But by doing that, this judge inadvertently basically admitted that hippos have personhood, which means that they have human rights. And with the way the US court works, once one court decides something, it sets a precedent, and all the future court cases get to refer back to it all the time, which means hippos, and potentially by extension the entire animal kingdom, could now have human rights.
Anyone can be anything!
And let's be honest, if you've made it this far into one of my YouTube videos, I know exactly where your brain just went. You're like, holy shit, this means the hippos have the Second Amendment, and the only thing scarier than a hippo is a hippo with an AR-15.
You don't need an AR-15. Buy a shotgun.
Yes, Joe Biden, or hippos with shotguns. I don't care. Hippos with guns are terrifying. Now, obviously, that's ridiculous and silly, and we're just joking around. However, what you should actually be concerned about is the potential that next time you accidentally, hit a deer with your car, now your friendly neighborhood tree hugger environmentalist can take you to court and try to have charges pressed against you for vehicular manslaughter because you didn't just accidentally hit a deer, you killed a person with your car. Because now animals aren't animals.
You want to know why I don't know how far that will go? Because people are taxed. The systems in place and the people in charge like to get their money out of people. So if you then make animals people and they can't be taxed, they're only going to get but so many rights. Like homeless people, they don't pay taxes. The government writes them off as if they don't exist. You know that, right? Like the census doesn't even count homeless people anymore because they no longer exist because they're not getting anything out of them. They're useless. It's only going to go but for so long and for so far.
They're people, and people have human rights, and it completely upends our entire understanding of how the law functions today. Thankfully, this is probably not going to end up happening. I read through a bunch of actual lawyers and legal scholars analyzing this, and their conclusion is that it's kind of a bullshit technicality and it shouldn't ever set a precedent. Yeah. However, shouldn't still implies that it kind of sort of might one day, which is horrifying. But U.S. law and precedent aside, it's affecting the Colombian cocaine hippo situation because it's putting a ton of political pressure on the Colombian government. Now, in order to fully appreciate what is going on here, you really got to put yourself in the Colombian politicians' shoes, right? On one hand, you've got an environmental disaster with potentially planet-altering implications that's being instigated by cocaine hippos from Pablo Escobar. And on the other hand, the United States, the country whose military budget is literally twice the size of your nation's GDP, just came out of left field and they were like, oh, hey, by the way, the hippos in your country, no other hippos and no other animal in the planet ever, for that matter, has ever been considered a human. But the cocaine hippos in your country, we consider them to be people now. And the Colombian government is like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, if we cull these hippos to save the world, are you guys going to consider that a genocide? Or like, what's going to happen? You're going to put an embargo, quit doing business with us, wreck our entire economy over some hippos? What? And that's pretty much where we're at today. Nobody really knows what's going on. The Colombian government doesn't really know what to do because everybody's too busy arguing about the moral and ethical dilemma of killing off hippos/people while the hippos are in the background pooping all over the rivers and the ponds, killing off all the fish and the birds, destroying the ecosystems of Colombia and potentially by extension in the future the entire Amazon rainforest. And nobody's doing anything about it. I feel like I'm in an episode of Black Mirror. You know what I mean? Because maybe I'm simple, maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm just a horrible person and I don't see the value in all animals' lives in relation to saving the entire planet. However, I feel like the options are pretty simple. A, save the environment. B, give a fuck about the feelings of people that don't know what they're talking about because it will make them feel better if hippos don't die, even though they wouldn't know about it if they did. And somehow, the feelings of random people is winning while the clock is ticking down to an environmental catastrophe. Like, the entire thing has made me lose so much faith in humanity, it's unbelievable, because I'm now absolutely certain that aliens could crash land on Earth, like aliens, like from the movie Alien, you know, not intelligent life forms. Their sole purpose is to run around and kill anything that's alive. Those things could crash land and start murdering everything. And I guarantee you there would be activist groups that were protesting to make it illegal to fight back against these aliens because they have a right to live too.
I do not call them aliens because alien is a derogatory term for anything.
Oh, that's so true.
Even extraterrestrials.
That's where people are.
That really happened, people. And I just watched that. And I don't know when she did that. I don't know when that I don't know when that came out of her mouth. But she said aliens, even the ones from outer space, should not be referred to as aliens because it's a derogatory term to an alien. Oh, every day we stray further away.
At, and it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Now, my personal opinion, and this is going to show you how horrible of a person I am, I don't think the Colombian government should kill off all these hippos. I really don't, because that would cost the Colombian taxpayers money, and that's dumb. The Colombian government should issue tags and let a bunch of foreign, rich, wealthy hunters come in and kill hippos for $100,000 a piece. They'll pay money to fix the problem for you, and then you can take all the millions of dollars that would net Colombia and put it back into preserving and helping the environment, which has been damaged by these hippos. But we're never ever going to do that because that would make sense, and making sense usually hurts people's feelings. So I guess this is just where we're at. I'm sorry, this video got way more angry and unhinged than I ever thought it would. So I guess in conclusion, this is a story about how Pablo Escobar, the drug kingpin, smuggled in 4 baby hippos into Colombia, and now, generations later, all of the hippos are somehow considered people, and they're going to destroy the Amazon rainforest, and nobody's going to do anything about it because a bunch of self-righteous know-nothings think they're helping. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the video is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack, bang, out. I need a fucking beer.
You know, I like the Fat Electrician. I really do.
1,000. I thought you said we couldn't lift naked anymore.
It's so much better this way.
I don't know what I would do if I went to a gym and saw someone working out naked. I would not want to touch that equipment anymore. This was very informative. This is extremely informative. I knew nothing of cocaine hippos. I knew Pablo Escobar had a zoo and things like that, but I didn't know he was feeding them cocaine. That was the way he said it. Cocaine hippos. These drug overdosed hippos are running rampant in Colombia even right now. And I'm sorry, but yeah, get rid of the problem. Just get rid of the problem. Like, it's the problem, get rid of it. They're not doing anything other than causing a problem. So there's ways to get rid of it. Some people might not like it. That's them. But yeah, You guys, tell me how you feel about this one. If you've never seen the Fat Electrician, bro, you're definitely going to tune into more videos here with me. Shout out to the Fat Electrician. This actually was really good and very informative. But yeah, I don't even know what to do with myself now. I'm still stuck. I'm stuck on the fact that there are drugs in an animal system, and we are saying that that's okay. People are saying that that's okay. These are weird and wild animals who are causing havoc, and that's okay. All right, I guess. Well, you know what time it is. It's time to get out of here, man. Find those buttons, because you know what they do. Then go back to enjoying your day, bro.